How was your experience dating a woman with high libido? I married her. Same. Life is now a porn movie. Thank you God. Same. Married her. This was my fourth long-term, 7 years, relationship. It's been 6 years now and still going strong. Don't think it'll change. I love her for many reasons, but the sex is sensational. Never felt the same. I feel empty in every relationship now. I felt desired. It encouraged me taking care of myself and everything. I loved it. Waking up in the middle of the night and being ready to go together. The connection you feel. It's so passionate. I really miss that. A lot. Damn, that really hits the nail on the head. I've had other partners more knowledgeable, put together, fiscally responsible, but just one so wildly pariah in it that I get the urge to call her crazier when every logical department of my brain says no. D scars. I got circumcised at 19. Met an info at 22 who managed to partially tear the scar open in reverse cowgirl. Almost broke my pelvis. She was also a gym rat and had very developed muscles. She rode me round after round and I thought I felt my pelvic bones break or give. I had a similar experience in college with a cross-country runner. Here was as firm as a car seat. She could have clenched her thighs and snapped my spine at any moment. We had so much sex. It started to feel like a pencil sharpener. Good times. Edit. Hooray. It was pretty great. She was much older than me and much more experienced, and was also highly orgasmic. I didn't have to do much to get her off. Having a cool, beautiful older woman want sex as much as I did was a huge confidence boost for someone who a few years before was a fat kid that thought he was unfuckable. It was a bit of a come down when it came to my next partner, realizing that sex 3 times a day wasn't the norm. And that I don't have a magic C and actually had to put some effort in for my partner's benefit took some adjusting to. We're married lol. Briefly dated this girl in college, who could only be described as a semen demon as every transaction required a receipt. It was great for probably the first 3 months or so, but after a while it began to feel like trying to eat cake every day. It felt like our entire relationship revolved around sex, which I'm sure is a problem 99% of men today would happily have. That first you up text at midnight was exhilarating, but the 60th/70th time, still mildly exhilarating, but it's like I got class at 9 AM, a midterm to finish studying for, a soccer game tomorrow, other friends I'd like to maintain. In hindsight, better communication, boundaries and more maturity probably could have extended the relationship, but I was 19 living most guys' wildest dream, and it was doomed to fail. I'm more of a once a week kind of guy. My wife of 32 years was thoroughly disinterested in sex. We had full sex about 20 times in those 32 years, always initiated by me except for the 2 occasions we wanted kids. Then she caught first time both times. She would show little pleasure, but would occasionally give me a hand job. I was absolutely convinced women don't like sex, as my wife told me, that and society seemed to back it up. She dumped me the day the money stopped rolling in, after supporting her for 3 decades. I met a girl after 6 months who was very demure and polite, but let me know, in plain language, she wanted to jump my bones. I thought that was obviously untrue, because women don't like sex. 2 years on, we are still utterly incapable of keeping our hands off each other. It's an incredible feeling that you are actually attractive to someone and that she feels as horny as you do. We are both polite, sensible middle-aged parents, but we are like teenagers together. She's wanked me off whilst I'm driving, and I've made her come through her jeans at the dinner table. Some days we just don't get out of bed, and if we do, we just start again downstairs. I had thought with deep certainty that sex was something men wanted and women tolerated. I'm 54, and exceptionally pleased to find I'm wrong. Went shopping for new bed sheets more often than we went out for dinner. Buy some comfy bath towels, my guy. She admitted to trying to get pregnant. I left that situation. Lol. I had one of those. We only knew each other about 2 weeks. Slept with each other the night we met. The final time we slept together, she invited me to her place in the middle of the day for lunch. Lunch quickly turned to sex, during which she told me I could take the condom off and finish inside her. I told her I didn't want to do that. She told me she thought she was infertile, so it wouldn't matter. I still use the condom. Afterwards she told me that she wanted a kid because a lot of her friends had recently had one and she felt left out. Knowing that she'll always want it when I want it is great, but other times I'm thankful to be falling asleep in front of the TV because then when we go to bed I can believably say I'm too tired. The idea that having a boner means I must want sex is a frequent problem. Boner havers can starfish too sometimes. It's allowed. It felt good to be wanted on that level. Morning sex, afternoon sex, and at night she just wanted me in her so she could fall asleep. Wake up to in progress BJs. It ruins you for normal women and women with low libido though. You speak the truth. It isn't always just about the sex. It's the feeling that she wants me as much as I want her. There are lots of ways to show that. I'm definitely a heart on my sleeve type of person. I don't repress any emotions. So having someone match that energy is really important to me. Sexuality is a part of that. Unfortunately, it's only happened once or twice in relationships. It was perfect. We connected on a primal level and fucked like animals everywhere, all the time. Unfortunately it ended the second I found out she was married. Ouch. I have a high libido and only had one relationship where hers was higher. We are talking 4 to 5 times a day, every day. It was insanely tiring, and any time I happened to not want sex, there was soon the why don't you want me? Is something wrong talk to follow. The worst was that she had problems achieving orgasm. So sex either started or ended with me giving head for literally 20 to 30 minutes, the only way that worked for her. Granted, still preferable to someone only wanting sex a few times a week. But I guess, being the one wanting it slightly more often isn't the worst thing. It was pretty awesome, until I really wanted to get to know her for who she is. It was a quick chat and then boom. Sex and again, and we were in a relationship. I didn't get to know her very well. Sexually satisfied yes, relationship satisfied no. It was fun at first, until we couldn't make it through a movie or an episode of a TV show together without her trying to get it on. I thought I could beat the system by doing her just before the movie started, and that worked all of 30 minutes before she wanted it again. The worst part about it was she had very low self-esteem for some reason, so if I refused her she would get so upset, so I basically had to prevent a rest show. It became that we couldn't do anything in private without it being interrupted by sex, and sometimes I actually wanted to do things together. Recently read a post that said men think they have a high libido until they meet a woman that likes sex. Can confirm. It's fun at first, but it gets tiring. On the weekends, I would try to give my partner a bunch of orgasms in a row, so she would get sleepy and nap and I could sneak off and play PlayStation. Guys think they want sex all the time, but it's not all it's cracked up to be, especially when you're really trying to put the time in on Bloodborne. It was really fun, up until I got on some antidepressants that drastically lowered mine. Adderall ruined me. It's quite pleasurable. We can get into all kinds of dirty fun. At first, it was novel and awesome. Previous partners usually would only do morning sex or night sex, an occasional midday romp, but that was rare. This girl would be down for it any time, and would usually initiate, but that fun wore off. Sometimes I would get home from work, and I'm tired, and just want to sit down for a few minutes, not F. Or we would be out, and she would want to pull me into a bathroom, which can be fun when out at a bar or club, but not at a work event. The worst was the manipulation. If I didn't want to F, she would either turn it into me not finding her attractive, or that I was cheating on her. Then if I couldn't perform for subsequent rounds, I was less of a man. If she wanted to stop by 4-6, before going to work, or going out with friends, it was her desire for me. If I tried to do the same thing, then I was using her. Maybe this was more about her own mental issues, and not about her libido, but that's how it worked out. I yearned for when her period started. Days leading up to it was just painful. Yeah, as a woman with a high libido, period sex is a lot of fun. Messy, but fun. I'm still horny AF, no matter what time of the month it is. Sorry not sorry. It's exhausting. I come home from work. She wants it. Wake up. She wants it. Can't sleep. She wants it. She gets home from work. She wants it. Kiss her goodbye before work. She wants it. I have a pretty mild libido due to a hormone imbalance and being autistic, so I haven't had to initiate in the year we've been together. More just agree. I don't even get the chance to get horny anymore. If I thought about getting horny, she's already there and sucking me to get me hard. Coming from a deadbed engagement with a closeted lesbian, it's been a culture shock, but it's been amazing. How many lucky motherfuckers on this post? You're supposed to be learning that it's fun at first, but then I married her. She needed it on a psychological level, like validation, and was mortally offended whenever I didn't/couldn't provide it. I had to stop dating her. We now live together,